Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Before the video starts, I first want to say thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for even clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. I'm really enjoying this YouTube journey, and I just want to thank you guys for choosing to come on this journey with me. Number two, I also want to say this is not a tutorial. I am not a makeup professional. I am not a beauty guru, and the purpose of this video is not to show you how to do makeup. I'm pretty sure you're going to watch this video, especially if you're really into makeup, and you're going to be like, girl, why you do it like that? A girl that don't look right. That's not my purpose. I really just want to show my everyday makeup routine. This is how I wear my makeup every day when I go to work. It's very rare that I don't have some sort of makeup on at work, but sometimes I go all natural, but for the most part, this is how I look. And I just wanted to show you guys my look, show you guys what I use. It really doesn't take that long. I was talking a lot, so of course it took me a little bit longer than usual, but usually it takes me anywhere from, I don't know, 15 to 30 minutes to do this look. And I just wanted to share it with you guys. And I also wanted to start a conversation about colorism. Colorism is something that I have struggled with, and I felt like doing my makeup would be the perfect time to discuss that with you guys. So without further ado, we're gonna get right into the video. Okay guys, let's jump right into the video. I've already did my eyebrows. No, they are not perfect. I am not like a pro at eyebrows, and honestly, the purpose of this video was not to like show you how to do makeup, because girl, you got plenty of girls on here that can teach you how to do that. I'm trying to have a conversation with you guys. That's what I'm trying to do. So I've already done my eyebrows, and I've already moisturized my skin. I use the Clinique Drastically Different. This is what I use. And then sometimes I'll go in with a little bit of the Fasali oil. This is really good, but it's kind of heavy, so I don't always use this. If I don't use that, I might do like a little mist on top, or maybe some sort of lighter oil. Then I also moisturize my lips. I'm gonna be using Burt's Bees. I think this is pink lemonade, well, pink grapefruit, and it smells really good. And we know the lips are like the last thing that you do, so they'll be nice and ready to go. Get my hair out the way. So yeah, I was planning to do my makeup and stuff because there was some videos that I wanted to record today, and I thought, how about I start a conversation about colorism. What a perfect time to talk about colorism when you're doing your makeup and adding color to your skin. All right, so what is colorism? I'm gonna define it for those of you who don't know. In short, is simply the discrimination of someone based on their shade of skin. So a simpler way to put it is light skin versus dark skin. That's something that runs rapid, you know, in the Black community, and also in the Latinx community. I know they have a lot of problems as well with colorism. So that's essentially what it is. So I'm gonna do my eyeshadow real quick. I usually use two different eyeshadow palettes. Where is my other one? Okay. I use the Wet n Wild, and this is very inexpensive. This is Rose in the Air, okay? And then I use the Too Faced Chocolate Chip Palette. These are my two favorites. So the thing about colorism is we see it a lot. You know, you get on Twitter and you see the jokes about, you know, dark-skinned women got bad credit, and, you know, dark-skinned girls this and dark-skinned girls that. And I mean, that essentially is colorism in and of itself. And I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, they're just jokes, but a lot of time there is a lot of truth to those jokes. And for me and my story, I grew up in a predominantly Black school district, and it was mostly Black, and then we had a lot of Hispanics. And I pretty much grew up in this school district for the entirety of my schooling. It wasn't until I got to high school, my sophomore year, I left the high school that I was at, and I ended up transferring to a new school, C.E. King High School. That's the school that I ended up graduating from. But that was my first forte into being around more people that weren't just Black. You know, yeah, we had a lot of Hispanics in my old school in North Forest at Smiley, but it was just a lot of Blacks. So when I got to C.E. King my sophomore year, I seen a lot more. But even before I got to high school, I kind of always had this thing when it came to dating. Now I'm going to go into my mint chocolate palette, and I am just going to use the darker brown in here, and I'm kind of going to put it in my crease. But ever since I was about, I would say 12, 13, I kind of always had a preference. And the preference that I had was for lighter skinned guys. And I didn't really think anything of it because I was young and I didn't know about colorism. I didn't know that was a thing. I just kind of always wrote it off as having a particular preference. And it's funny because I did have a crush on a darker skinned guy when I was in middle school and throughout much of my freshman year of high school, but I didn't really think too much into it. You know, I just knew like, hey, I liked him. I also had known him for most of my life. We kind of grew up together, so I think a lot of that played a part into it. But other than that one crush, I really did not like guys who were dark skinned. And I know that sounds crazy to say. So I did my eyeliner off camera and I used the Maybelline Master Precise. I really like this. Usually I use my Stila. That's my OG triple OG eyeliner that I use. But lately I have been trying out the new Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I like it, but let me tell you one thing that I absolutely hate about this. I'm gonna show you guys. I don't know if this happened to y'all. Look at that. You see that? The bristles come up on it. I don't like that because this thing costs too much money for that to happen. So right now I'm using Maybelline. Okay, when I started to realize that something may not have been right is when I noticed that out of all of my friends that I had when I was in high school, I was usually the darkest one. And if you can see, it's not even like I'm not dark. I'm not as dark as you can be, you know, as a black person, but I was usually the darkest one in my friend group. And I kind of subconsciously surrounded myself around girls who were lighter than me, a lot of times mixed race. And at the time I knew it was something weird about it, to why I kind of almost preferred those types of girls to be my friends, but I didn't really think too much into it. I am going to do my eyelashes. These are the eyelashes that I use, guys. I'm sorry because I use these for real, so they have been used. These are my everyday lashes. It's by Broadway Eyes, and it's the number DW Black. I use these every day. The only time I'm not using these is if it's for a special occasion, if I'm going out or something, or it's like my birthday or something and I still have to go to work, but I might want some bigger eyelashes. But these are my everyday lashes that I use. So if you see me on a regular day, these are the ones I'm wearing. Okay, and I'm gonna put these on off camera because, you know, I don't want to be struggling in front of you. Okay, yeah, I'm glad I did that off camera because baby, it was a struggle. That's the thing about lashes. Sometimes they're good and they pop right on for you, and then sometimes they do the most. But yeah, so I have my lashes on, so that's good. We like that. But okay, back to my story. It wasn't until I got to college, and you know, college for me was definitely a different world. Like, not even trying to be funny because of the TV show, but it was a different world. It was a brand new experience for me. I was learning a lot of things about myself that I didn't know, and a lot about how the world works. And one of the number one things that you learn in college is the world does not work the way that you have been taught that it works when you're in high school and middle school and elementary school. And I remember I went to a program. Before I get into that, I am going to do my foundation. For my foundation, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me. I'm going to be using 338. This is Spicy Brown. I don't usually use this color, but I kind of wanted to just give it a try. But I went to this program and it was put on by the Omegas on my campus. It was during their week. Most colleges have what's called like a week for each fraternity and sorority, and usually, you know, they have like parties and different things. In addition to that, they also have like informative programs, and the Omegas did a program and it was called In Living Color. And basically the program was about colorism. And in the beginning of the program, one of the members read the Willie Lynch letter. And for those of you who've never heard of Willie Lynch, never heard of that letter, I'm going to link that down in the description box. And essentially it was a letter that was supposedly written to slave masters, and it was explaining pretty much how you break your new slaves in. And it was essentially talking about, you know, separating them, putting the lighter ones inside and closer to the house, and the darker ones would go out in the field and be field Negroes, and hence the term you know, house Negro and field Negro was born. And it was essentially saying, like, this is what you do, this is how you break them, this is how you make them hate themselves, like this is how you turn them against each other, because you know everybody knows that a house divided against itself cannot stand. And before you even start, I know there are people who say, well, Willie Lynch wasn't even real and blah blah blah. The point is, the letter exists, and regardless of if it was really written and read out to slaves, the things that that letter talks about are things that we do as a community. So whether or not it was real or not, clearly this idea came from somewhere of, you know, lighter skin being better than darker skin. And I remember as I was reading this, I'm gonna move on to my concealer. As I was hearing this, y'all, I was pissed. I had never heard of Willie Lynch, so my first reaction was, why didn't I know about this? In all of my years of schooling, I'm gonna go in with my darker concealer first. It's more close to my skin tone. I had never heard about Willie Lynch. Never heard about a lot of stuff. And everybody knows the black history that you get in school is, grade school is usually, you know, not the best. And I remember just being so pissed because I was like, how did I go through all of my schooling and no one ever taught me about this? And then to hear that there is this whole system that is set up to pretty much have us like hate each other and hate the color of our skin. I'm using the Fenty Beauty matchstick, and I am using upside down, I am using caramel, guys, to get me a little bit of color to my skin. Y'all, I remember hearing this and I felt so low, and I immediately began to think about the decisions that I make when it comes to, you know, people and who I surround myself with and how they look, and, you know, guys that I would be attracted to. And I had to have essentially a come to Jesus meeting with my own self. And I had to realize that, hey, you know what, there are passed down to me that have been a part of me, embedded in me subconsciously, that I have no idea. When you think about everybody who has grown up black, remember hearing, don't stay outside too long, you're gonna get black, and, you know, things like that. Even little small things like that that we grew up hearing, we internalize that, you know, to where it's like, oh, I'm afraid to get in the sun, I'm afraid to do this, I'm afraid to do that because I don't want to get dark. And I realized that all of that was a thing. I remember learning about the Blue Vein Society. You know, that was a thing that exists, you know, being lighter to the point where you can passing being a thing in the past, meaning where if a black person was light enough, and usually if they were of mixed race, meaning black and white, they could pass for white. That was a thing. And the brown paper bag test, and not to mention the baby doll test of the 1940s. I learned about these things, and I had to have a real hard look at myself, because I started to remember being in school and honestly sometimes being almost disgusted, you know, by the idea of dating someone that was darker. I would literally say, like, no, I don't want to date anyone that's dark because I don't want dark babies. Yeah, I used to say that. And I didn't think that it was a big deal because that's kind of what I heard, you know, growing up. That's what on TV, I saw that the lighter children and the lighter women and the light-skinned boys seemed to be a bit better. And getting that information forced me to really question my values, question a lot of things that I had been told. Let me tell you something. When you start to tear down years and years of ideals being forced upon you, it's scary. It's scary, it's sad. I would find out things and read up on things that will blow my mind, and I'm gonna link a lot of these things below. I'll link the Blue Vein Society. I'll link the baby doll study of 1940s, brown paper bag testing, and the black community. I'll link as much as I can below, including the Willie Lynch letter. I just remember feeling like, I can't believe that this is what I've been doing. And trying to tear down your own ideologies, it hurts. It hurts, and it's scary, you know, because when you've been thinking one way for so long, shoot, you feel like you're right. Now I'm gonna come in with my blush, and I use the e.l.f. blush palette, and this is in dark. And y'all, baby, I use this a lot. Look at it. I use a lot of this. So now moving forward, one thing that I always try to do, number one, is definitely question everything. You know, I'm always about giving myself a mental health check to figure out, you know, why I do the things that I do and what prompted me to say certain things that I say. Which brings me to a decision that I made. And one thing that I rarely do is contour my nose. As you can see right now, I'm about to put a little highlight. And my nose has been something that has bothered me for quite some time. I've kind of always felt like I didn't really like it. It was too big. And, you know, I had to question where those thoughts came from. And when I got to the bottom of it, of course, surprise, surprise, a lot of it was based on these very screwed up views that I had as a black woman and beauty, you know. Then I'm going to go in with my MAC mineralized skin finish. I'm gonna go over pretty much everything. Just let it be. Like I said, this is just an everyday this is an everyday look. I don't know if I'm the only one that does this, but I like highlight to be one of like the almost last things that I do. Like once my face has powder and everything, I'll come back with highlight. I am using Rum. This is another matchstick that I am using, and I like to go in under my eyebrows, and I use my fingers. That's what we love about the matchstick, is that you can really just use your fingers with it. It's not, you know, anything too crazy. One tip of my nose, and then just kind of add it to there. So I made the decision that I don't want to do anything to myself out of self-hatred. While I love makeup, I think makeup is fun. I think, you know, you can change up your look. You can express yourself. I never want to be in a position where I'm doing things out of hatred. Let's move on to the lips. For the lips, I use 3 different things. I'm gonna start off by lining my lips. This is a MAC liner, and I want to say this is Plum, guys. I am almost out of this. I'm literally almost out of this MAC liner, but let's start. Then I come in with my MAC lipstick. This is from the Aaliyah collaboration, and it's in the color Try Again, and it's really just a nice little brown, kind of palish brown, and I come in the middle. That's how that goes on. That's why you need a lip liner with this, because girl, don't wear this without no lip liner. So I come in with that. Then I go over top. This is the original Fenty Beauty Gloss Balm. Kind of just come in the middle. And like that. Sometimes I put mascara on the bottom. Sometimes I don't. But I'll just spray. And I don't have too much of this left. Y'all need to get some more. I never want to do things because of the way that I look. you know, because I don't like the features that God has given me. And going through that experience in college and learning about colorism and learning about Willie Lynch and learning about all these different aspects of, you know, the Black society that we dealt with, it made me realize there are so many things that we do that are from self-hatred. And I know this is not anything groundbreaking, guys. I'm pretty sure you've seen so many think pieces and articles and videos on this. I just wanted to share with you guys my story and how I came to realize that I had my own really trash and really toxic ideas that related to beauty. And I felt like maybe this could help someone else. And I just want to encourage you guys that if there is anyone out there who might be struggling with those same thoughts, you are not alone. I have been through it. I'm pretty sure there are so many women who are still going through it. And never be afraid to question your own way of thinking. And not just with beauty, guys, with anything. Never be afraid to challenge your own self. That's how you grow, you know? And you never want to be surrounded by a bunch of people who think the way that you do. Please, you don't ever want to be in that position. You need to be around people who are going to challenge you, who are going to tell you to think harder, really question your ideas. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if it helped you. Comment down below if you have had similar issues. If you're still on a journey, that's fine too. I still have things that I'm trying to work on as well. Also, maybe you would like to share your story as to how you realized you had some sort of trash ideas about standards of beauties and things of that nature. Anything, just share it down below. Let's start the conversation. And as always, I will talk to you guys later.